JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 21st of October 2022. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, some of the charts that we looked at this week just to see how everything kind of got along. But yeah, before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our disclaimer. So, yep, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channels, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course, our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can check out for more information about us. Now then, guys, jumping into the charts, actually, the first one I want to pick up here is always Nikkei 225, so in a way, I will say the same thing, actually, because, look, I said before that I am aiming for this this upside line if we fall below this 27,180 zone. Well, we've managed to almost reach that, so just fell shy by a few points from doing that. But yeah, the week has ended for Nikkei, so basically maybe this is something to keep an eye on going into next week. However, I would say if this is where it ended the week, that's it. This is where we will, take our profits. That we'll class that as a good result. The reason why, because again, it's going to be very interesting how today's day is going to play out as well. In Europe, in the U.S. markets, so maybe we'll have some sort of either a gap to the upside here or a gap to the downside, and that's why I will probably stick to, let's say for the downside scenario, I'll stick to this level, the 26,780 territory, somewhere around here, in order to go lower, because at the same time we'll get a break of this upside line. And for the upside, now previously I've drawn this, but I think I will start already looking at some higher levels on a break of this area, on a break of this 27,180 zone right there. So yeah, and then we will maybe get a little bit more excited with the possible retest of the 200-day EMA, and then yeah, maybe going further north. Now, Shanghai Composite, this one's a little bit on the boring side, and to be honest, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because, again, the same analysis is valid. I'm for the upside. I need to see a push above the 3,100 level. For the downside, I would prefer to see a drop below this 2,987 territory right here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. If you think that this level is way too far, what you can do here is probably keep your eyes on the lowest point of this week, near the 3,013-14 area, approximately around there, and then we could go from there. But again, you would have to kind of have your stop loss in place, of course, as always, just to be a little bit more careful with that. ASX 200, so we're breaking this upside line, and look, I mean, I talked about this and I said that I'll get more excited with the upside if we do push of that 6,750 territory. We did push higher, but we failed to reach the current highest point of October, near the 6,807. Now, in order to go higher, we need to see a clear break of that area, and if we do clear, and if we get that clear break of that area, then yes, I will go higher. This will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. So in a way, if you want, we can do it this way here. Just like I said, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, that would be, I think that would be a safer approach on this. So yeah, this upside line can go where we broke it. We broke it to the downside, of course, and now we're shifting lower. However, as I said before, I would prefer to start aiming lower on a break of this 6,600 12,610 territory, because at the moment we might be seeing maybe something of a bullish flag, you know, or maybe just a range, but either way, a breakout through one of these levels that I just mentioned is needed. Now the German index DAX, so good hold up near that 12,670 territory. I kept on talking a lot about that level, and we got a hold up. Yes, it held. I don't know how many times I'm going to repeat the word hold in different forms, but yeah, basically it played out perfectly. So what's next? Next is basically still monitoring the same level. Of course, the idea so far is okay here, where I was hoping to see, you know, like maybe a rebound. However, my little problem is the cash index. We're currently slightly below this area, below that 12,670 territory. We're on the cash index. Now, the question here is if we continue to trade below this hurdle, because like I said, the cash index did drift. It was driven by the decline in the US market. So yep, like I said, we'll have a little we might have a little open around here. If it stays below this 12,670 territory, I'm gonna aim for the downside. I'll aim for that 21-day EMA or even some lower levels. With the upside, I would prefer to wait and see here. Like I said, if we do climb back above this hurdle, then yeah, I will maybe consider, not maybe, but I will consider a possible move to the upside. And I think that this is the arrow. It should be drawn like this. Now, NASDAQ 100. So, NASDAQ 100 yesterday kind of closed, well, not kind of, but it closed in negative territory. It was the not the biggest loser this time. S&P was the biggest loser. The NASDAQ lost here a little bit. I did try to push higher initially, but as you can see, the upper side of the falling channel played out perfectly, and boom, there we go. We got another hold up here, and we declined. Now the cash index is currently sitting actually below the psychological 11,000 mark already. So we're not below this hurdle, this 10,967, no, but we are below the psychological 11,000 mark. So the question here is, can we see a further decline? Well, that's going to be quite interesting to see, because again, if it does drop below that hurdle, as I said before, and as I was mentioning this whole week, I would like to see it drop below this area in order to go a little bit lower. Initially, I would aim for this 10,677 territory, and if it gets cleared, then the next target is the 10,440 level. In terms of the economic data today, guys, by the way, not much. We got some data from UK, the core retail sales. So yeah, and just the headline retail sales, both disappointed. I think quite significantly, but yeah, we'll get to the pound in a bit. So yeah, the numbers here came out. Then what we're looking for is the Canadian retail sales. Now, so basically, keep your eyes on the Canadian dollar. But okay, I'll get to EURUSD in a bit. So, but coming back here, I mean, look, unless something starts coming out from the oil market, or maybe, you know, the geopolitical arena, then we could see, or maybe actually, sorry, there are some, we might see some earnings reports coming out. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. But okay, let's see. Like I said, maybe it's not going to be the most exciting probably day, but maybe it's going to leave everything for next week. So, but however, if we do drop below this area here, I will go a little bit lower. In order to go higher, I need to see a push above this upper side of the falling channel. Now, Dow Jones Industrial Average, very quickly on this one. So yeah, drifted back below this 30,454 territory. So in a way, to be honest, nothing major here. Just the fact that the index dropped back below this area. And what's important is that it tried to go for the current highest point of October yesterday, when it tried to go for that, but failed to kind of reach that. It came very close to it and then reversed back down, but reversed not only just back down, it reversed back below this 30,454 territory, which I talked about before. And well, this kind of gives us a little indication that maybe not everything is good in the bull block. The cash index is trading at around 30,300 right now, so we're nicely below this area. If we stay below it, I'll go lower. My next target is the 21-day EMA, and if that gets cleared, then is the 29,654 zone right here. Now, DXY, the dollar index. Okay, so if we are looking for some higher levels or some lower levels, well, basically I need to see a clear breakout through one of these lines. Until I get that, I'm not really touching this, and as I said before, I'm just observing the price action and I'm just remaining somewhat neutral, I would say, or I cannot be somewhat neutral, just neutral. Again, we can say that we should be like maybe cautiously bullish because we're still above some of these upside lines here, but I just want to be careful here, and I want to wait until we get a clear breakout. Gold. As I said before, that look, be careful with it because we're in a falling channel, and yesterday I talked about this, and yesterday we were hanging around here. We had a move to the upside towards the upper side of the falling channel. We've met some resistance and we declined. And today, and yesterday, as I said yesterday, I said that look, until we break the upper side of the falling channel, we cannot really examine, let's say, or get comfortable with the upside. So, and it may remain here for a while, and yep, so far it's drifting lower. As I said before, my next target is the 1615 level, although my arrow is drawn all the way lower here, but actually I'm aiming for the 1615 first because I want to see if it's actually going to provide some support or not. If it does, then maybe we'll hit a nice rebound here, and maybe we'll form something like a double bottom here, something like that. But again, let's not over speculate here, and let's go with what we see. US oil, WTI oil. So yeah, this one's a little bit of a mess, and I think that this downside line no longer is needed. It didn't really play out perfectly. So the level here, this 85.58, I talked about it, and I said like if we clear it and if we jump above it, then we might go higher. We did initially at one point, but we failed to stay above this area. And look at this, we drifted back to the downside. So the same game plan for me remains valid. I will stick to this area, this 85.58. I would like to see another push above it in order to go to the upside. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 82.54 territory right here, and then we will go lower. BCH USD, Bitcoin Cash. So this one's very, very boring, but it's at the same time very, very kind of getting into a very, very good squeeze here. Now this, what I've drawn here is very tentative. I mean the lower side of it, I mean because maybe it should be drawn, sorry, not like that, but let me just grab this. So maybe it should be drawn this way instead, actually, and I think this would be a little bit better. Now, on one hand, it's not very exciting. On the other hand, we have a falling wedge. According to all the TA rules, falling wedges tend to break to the upside, so that's why I would say for now, yes, on one hand, maybe all the bulls here are really hoping to see some sort of action here, some sort of a good move to the upside. Okay, that's absolutely fine. We all would like to maybe see some sort of better activity here, but again, until we get that clear breakout, you cannot really do anything here. And once we get the breakout, great, then you can do something. At the moment, I mean, if you want, you can just invest, but then you have to kind of keep in mind that this might break actually to the downside and could go against you. So like I said, but if you're willing to just keep it, then okay, great, good for you guys. I mean, you do whatever you're comfortable with, but yeah, for me right now, I'm just observing this one. Although it's very, very attractive, don't get me wrong, but I need that confirmation break. AUD/USD continues to hold below this downside line, taken from the high of the 13th of September. Now, the only problem here is I have that although it's kind of showing, this willingness to travel lower, it's still struggling with this 0.6254 territory. If we go below this, if we clear it, then yes, I will go to the downside, further downside. But we're so far, like as I said, we're struggling. So in order for me to go to the upside, I would still need to see a break. So at the moment, I'm stuck. I'm stuck here, and I'm just observing the price action. So although I'm leaning a little bit more maybe towards the downside, but hey, let's be cautious here. Let's be careful, and let's wait for that confirmation break. A lot of things that you need to wait, guys. I mean, I know it's sometimes the boring side of the trading, but patience is gold. So you might hit that gold if you're patient. So be careful, be cautious. Don't worry. If you position yourself carefully, the time will come and you will make it. So you'll make something from that trade that you were planning and aiming for and preparing for. So yeah, just like I said, at the moment I'm cautiously bearish on this one. But I need that confirmation break, which we might get. But then in that case, if we do get the break, I need to see the daily candle staying below this hurdle. USD/JPY. This one is unstoppable. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just rallying and going further north. I mean, look, I need to jump into a monthly on this one because this is just insane. Look at this. I do apologize for the arrows here a bit, but yeah, they're on the daily chart. But look at this, guys. I mean, this has been rallying for quite a lot, and in the past 3 months, going from 130 to 150. That's quite a depreciation of the yen. However, well done for Japanese exports. Great, they're looking good right now on the arena, especially the cars. So yeah, that's something that kind of. Some countries around the world enjoy at the moment buying from Japan. So yeah, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of interesting things here happening, and I would say at the moment it's just kind of like one-way traffic. Everybody's hoping to see maybe that little correction here, but at this point I'm not seeing that, and I'm hoping to see something like that. I would like to see a correction, a nice decent correction here to the downside, but we're not really getting it yet. So what we can do is wait. The psychological 150 level has been hit, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this week is going to end. And to be honest, I would really personally, I would like to see a move, let's say a closure below the 150 level, let's say at the end of this, like by the end of the today, then we would have a weekly candle here that kind of closed below the psychological 150 level, and then maybe we could see a correction going into next week. But again, this is what I would like to see. I mean, the market doesn't always do what I want it to do. So at the moment, it's just like I said, it's just one-way traffic. We're 150.40 right now. Let's see if we can, go further north. If we suddenly, the way you can play this out, for example, let's say if it suddenly starts drifting below the current low of today, which is roughly around that 150.06 level, that's where it could be quite interesting for some sellers here, and we could see maybe a drift back to the downside. So keep that in mind. USD/CHF, so this one's interesting as well because look, I mean, I talked about this yesterday. I said that keep your eyes on this barrier, which is currently getting a tease. We're flirting with it, and well, we're not really. It seems like, yes, we want to go higher, but somehow the bulls are very cautious and they're like waiting, so yeah, I would say at the moment be careful with this one. Although it's tempting for the upside, and but the fact that it's not really giving us that strong move. You know, maybe it's because it was waiting for Friday. Let's see what's going to happen here. But also don't be surprised if you get some sort of like a false breakout where we're going to go higher, everybody starts jumping in, and then it's going to reverse back to the downside and end up the day below this highlighted zone. So you know, just kind of always keep that element of the doubt in it. And yeah, like I said, if we do push through this, great, but we can go higher, but then it might reverse back to the downside. But then in that case, this is where your stop losses should play out. Now, US dollar against the South African rand. I talked about this a lot this week, and yesterday I have changed my level here to this 18.3660. Or 59, I would say. So it's currently still providing good resistance. In order to go higher, I need to see a clear push through that level. For the downside, pretty straightforward. I need to see a break of the lower side of the rising channel, a drop below the 21-day EMA, and additionally a drop below the 17.9495 level right here, somewhere around there. GBP USD. So as I said, today we got the retail sales. They disappointed a little bit, and well, we're seeing a bit of a decline here. So as I said before, GBP USD seems to be stuck in this little kind of range, something like that. We're drifting a little bit lower right now. Of course, the whole kind of issue with the prime ministers of Great Britain, that's not really helping the pound as well. So yeah, let's see how we're gonna play out here. But yeah, if we do drop, well, actually we're already dropping. But I would say, where's that line? Let me just reuse one of these lines. If we fall below this hurdle this 1.1185, this is kind of like that midpoint of this range. And if we do drop below it, then yes, I will go towards the lower side of this potential range, which is roughly around that 1.0931. GBP CHF. So this one's, we're still waiting for this one. We're still waiting for it to do something. Okay, on one side we have ourselves a possible bullish flag here, together which is supported with these upside lines, these tentative upside lines. This upside line can go, no longer needed at the moment. This is the one that's playing out. But to be honest, either way, I would still prefer to wait for a push above this 1.1410 zone, because at the same time we would get a nice move above the 100-day EMA. For the downside, I would like to see a break of the upside line. However, I think at this point, judging how everything's kind of shaping up, I think I would like to see a drop, a good move below this 21-day EMA, and then we could go a little bit lower. We could then aim for this low, the 12th of October, near the 1.0897, something like that, around here. EuroCAD. So yeah, of course, also something that is currently sitting in a range a little here. So again, I'm waiting for this to make a move. If we do push through this 1.3570, great, I'll go to the upside. If we fall below the 1.3324 level right here, I'll go to the downside. Pretty straightforward here on this one. So I'm not really inventing any bicycle. So yeah, I'm just kind of, you know, watching this and waiting for my level to work out. At this point, like I said, I'm not really comfortable with it. So if you do like to trade something like that, okay, go ahead. The only thing is that just keep in mind that this could be a little bit volatile here. It could be up and down within this range. And you know, if you have a tight stop loss, then you might be taken out very quickly. So just kind of, you know, wait for that maybe better opportunity to step in. And Euro CHF, something that I haven't looked at for quite a while. I just wanted to see how we're doing here, but it's a little bit of a mess, to be honest. It's not really something really picture perfect. In general, every pair which I looked at with the CHF, USD CHF, GBP CHF, Euro CHF, all of them are kind of leaning towards the upside. So I mean, to a weaker CHF. However, whenever everything's very clear like that, I'm a person who always kind of doubts everything. So, you know, and I thinking that, okay, if I'm seeing this, then everybody else is seeing that. So probably, you know, like, I mean, the opposite could happen. Well, again, look, let's not get all these pessimistic ideas in our heads. In general, look, it's always better whenever you're stuck in such a situation. It's always better just to calm down. If just kind of try to remove everything, and if you think that this is how it could happen, okay, do it. But just remember that, let's say, if it suddenly starts happening, going against you, where is your exit point? Where is, you know, how much you can allow, how much room can you allow for it to maneuver, for it to walk? So that's what you need to do. You're not thinking about the profit. Think about like what you're gonna do if it goes against you. So it's like, how can you protect yourself? Do you want to average out? Do you want to just, you know, cancel the position? So it's, like I said, it's you need to kind of have that mindset, not like how much I can make or something like that. No, if you make €1, $1, one pound, one Swiss franc, one yen, that's already great. Doesn't matter, you know. So I strongly recommend to not to kind of, you know, go for these like 2-for-1, 3-for-1 ratios. If you can, if you can allow yourself to do that, go. But if you see that, for example, suddenly it's not working against you, or like not working out, or might not work out, just take what you make. You know, like it's fine. It's like, you know, if you can make yourself money for a cup of coffee, that's great. That's wonderful. You are already succeeding. Just don't try to, like I said, don't try to get these thoughts in your head that you have to go for a certain ratio. You know, blah blah blah. Yes. Logically, you know, it's always in the long run, maybe it works out better, but just again, like I said, you can also enter these smaller positions. You can take these smaller profits just because, like I said, you just might take them, and it's fine as well. So it's like, no, there's like I said, don't try to the most important thing here is not the ratio or anything. Just don't overcomplicate it, and don't overcomplicate your head, because you are the biggest enemy for yourself. That's in trading. That's straightforward. That's pretty much it. If you can control yourself, you can control trading. That's what's important. Anyway, guys, looking at this picture again, if we look at it in a little bit closer here, so we had a nice push here to the upside, and then we had this gradual move higher. Now, what I said before when I was talking about these scenarios, when they were happening the opposite way, like when we had a decline and then a gradual, you know, move lower, then we had some pops to the upside eventually. So this is the same kind of story, but inverse, and in a way it might actually also work out this way. Again, I'm not saying anything yet because I might be wrong, but if, for example, this is seen as a rising wedge, then yes, there is this idea that we could see a move to the downside here. So, you know, be very careful on that one. If you're looking for some higher levels on this, probably the easier option is to maybe wait for a push above the 0.9866 here. That's the highest point of September. A nice good pop above it may open the door towards that 200-day EMA. EURUSD. So, EURUSD, as I said to you yesterday, because we're stuck here, because some of the levels didn't work out for me, and this is where, you know, you have to kind of, if something starts not work out, you have to quickly leave it, reevaluate things again, and just, you know, try to see if, you know, if it'll take you a little bit time to maybe enter a trade in there, leave it, that's fine. Just wait for that, you know, wait for the chart to tick all your boxes. Once it does that, you know, do it. Because even if it goes against you still in that moment where all the boxes were ticked and it still goes against you, that doesn't matter, because you were correct. It will, you of course you have to try to put, you know, either close your position or maybe try to average out or something like that, but the thing is that at least you were honest in front of yourself that you did all what you could. It's just maybe the market is like this, then yeah. But if you start randomly just, you know, hoping for something, then okay, maybe that strategy works for you as well. Sometimes these random walks, also some people do like to trade like that, but then again, like, you know, then you have to kind of see the vision where you're exiting and where you're closing the position. So anyway, guys, so coming back to the EURUSD, it's like I said, it's very important here to wait. I'm probably talking about myself. That's very important for me right now. I'm gonna wait and see, because at this point it's not interesting for me. I'm just observing it. Once it I would like it to see maybe even more coiling up here, and if it starts getting into a bigger squeeze, now that's where it could become very, very interesting. So guys, that's it for this session. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your likes, your comments, in general, everything. So thank you very much for that. And if you want to catch me on Monday morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, that's 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful trading day. Don't overtrade. It's Friday. If something's not going well, leave it. There's always Monday. If it's going well, don't overtrade in that case, And as always, guys, have a beautiful weekend. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.